Bir kayıt alalım. Kayıtlara. Cennet gibidir senin olmadığın her yer.
A waitress. Can I have another spoon?
Dur, burası değil. Dur bir dakika. Biz en son nerede kaldık ki? Nereye gideceğiz biz? Evet, ebesinin nikahını. O yüzden sen kullanıyorsun. O yüzden sen kullanıyorsun. Bizim araba nerede? Kullan bakayım.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Biz hangi davadayız ki?
You find the booze helps you get through a working
Bir
day?
dakika. Biz bu davayı bir önceki yayın aldık mı ki ya?
Sharpens my investigatory
Bir dakika dur oğlum, ben bunu yeniden başlatırım.
instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
Smart man might know it's unwise
Kırmızı Ruj
to stand
davası.
between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
Ben bunu hatırlamıyorum.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the...
Ben bunu yeniden başlatırım bak hacı. Ben bunu hatırlamıyorum. Hatırlamadım. Bölümü oynamam. En son bir kızın hayatını kurtardık. Küçük bir kızın. Hayatını kurtarmadık da o davayı çözdük. Kız evden kaçmış falan filan. En son ne yapıyorduk biz? Ben bunu hatırlamıyorum. Ben böyle bir şey hatırlamıyorum. Oraya kadar ne ara gittik? Ne ara 6 ay sonra. Ha, ondan sonra rütbe şey atladık. Hatırlamadım. Bu sahneyi hatırlamadım. Ne oluyor lan? Karının sesi sustu. Cinayet büroya yükselmiştik, evet.
Let's get this over before lunch. Clyde Rose of the homicide squad has decided to take early
Emeklilik almaya
retirement.
karar verdi.
We will all miss Floyd and the steely
Emniyet
air
teşkilatına
she brought to
bıraktığı
his
mirası
police work.
özleyeceğiz. Özlemeyeceğim
The
ben, tanımıyorum
department has
çünkü.
arranged a wee drink at the
Bu
Galway
adam
Arms
25
to quench the
yıllık
mighty
boğulma
thirst
azapsızlığını gidermek
a
için.
man gets from
Bak
25
bir
years
işçi
of
parti
police
hayatı.
work.
Allah Allah.
Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table. And
Cole
the chief has seen
Phillips.
fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the
Palips.
homicide
Ko
desk.
bir şeyler de Philips
Stand
ya
up,
ama.
Phelps. Take a cheer.
Palaf. Pilav.
You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Hadi bakalım. Ne kadar heyecanlıyız.
Keep talking. Someday you'll say something intelligent.
Do you have the address?
Adres
Been all
bende.
over KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale.
Hadi bakalım. Ben süreceğim ilk arabayı.
This town is going straight to hell.
Bu benim şeyimdir.
That's that cop. Seems like a decent guy.
Bakalım. Arabamıza, yine arabamıza.
You got a problem, pal?
Bu mu?
I'd rather you took the wheel.
İyi, bu olsun.
What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Green. So they're both clearing the deck.
Bayağıdır gitmiyoruz ya, bir
What does that
şuraya
leave
bir
you,
gidelim.
Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
Medallion. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
We any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. This will be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Any central unit, car 16 Adam reports a possible jumper at 8th and Hope. The Methodist Church unit to handle code 2 identified.
Bir bakalım. Atla lan pezevenk, bu kadar insanı uğraştırıyorsun.
I'll do it.
Yap.
So help me God, I'll jump.
Bunlar ayar oluyorum
Get
ya.
up there. Let me do the talking, detective. I know a ton of this psychology stuff. You take the back alley and find a way up there.
Come on, Phelps, let's get moving.
You jumping? Make sure you warn me before you do.
I will. Wait. What?
You think this thing can hold you, Rusty?
I'll bring you down with me, Phelps.
Oğlum adam benden hızlı koşuyor lan. Benden çok hevesi var adamı kurtarma. Sen kurtar bari o zaman. Beni niye çıkarıyorsun yukarıya? Takım elbiselerle biz bunu nasıl beceriyoruz ya?
Come on then, Lightfoot.
No offense, but I don't want you splashed on my shoes.
Are you crazy? What are you trying to do?
I remember my first jumper. Could have soaked him up with...
This what you wanted?
I can't do it. I'll come quietly. I need some help. Please. You gotta get me some help.
You're a danger to yourself and to others.
Yalandan işte. İnsanlar hak kahramanı olduk. Alkışlandık, madalya takıldı. Sen böyle göreve bunun için mi geldik ya? Sen sür ya.
Can you drive to this one?
Oha, böyle bir şey olamaz ya.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
You're
Siktir
used to
git
it,
şuradan.
Phelps. Moving along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Artistlere bak ya. Bizimki niye bu kadar sert çıkıyor bilmiyorum ama. Bir de çıplak bırakmış pezevenk. Pezevenk. Yavşak seni
Patrolman, this your
yavşak.
beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body.
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with.
Hadi bakalım delikanlı. Bir dolaş bakalım. Basma oğlum oraya. Basma oğlum oraya. Hanımefendi en son gideceğiz. Gel ileri bir bakalım. Bir tarağa bakalım. Tarakta ne var? Tarakta bir şey yok.
The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body.
Başka bir şey yok. Sadece ruja baktık. Ruj. Kırmızı ruj.
Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game.
O ne lan? Ha. Aa, çakmakmış lan
Found the
bu.
club. Why steal a table lighter?
Abi. Konuşacağım.
What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
Tamam. Bomba, kulübü çakma, ruj, 8 numara ayakkabı izleri. İnsanlar şu anda yok. Tamam, bir bakalım.
Has the scene been secured?
Patrolman Houlihan saw to it. The victim's personal effects are still where they fell.
Oraları kontrol ettim ben.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
Buna efendiye bakalım.
Could be the head injuries. She has been badly stomped.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Kunt
Could
travma.
be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
What about this wound on the finger?
Something
Kayıp-
removed.
kayıp mücevherler.
Most likely. I assume it was taken post-mortem.
Öğlene kadar burada yayın açarız, sonra Twitch'e geçeriz. Üzerinde de bir şeyler yazıyor ha.
Interesting.
Fuck you BD. Tam başka bir şey yok
What does
burada.
the writing on the victim mean?
BD, Black Dahlia, Tex. Your guess is as good as mine.
Kara
Could be
dalya.
something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent. Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Why not follow up on the bomba? I could use a belt.
Ama kulübüne bir gidelim. Ama kulübü çok uzakta mı peki? Bamba. Yakınsa ben süreyim, yakın değilse o sürsün. Yakın değilmiş, o sürsün. Sen sürer misin? Sen süreceksin pezevenk.
You can drive.
Bamba Club.
The werewolf? For my money, a copycat.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? A big head to hang on your wall. The caller of the decade. They've been working evidence on BD case for 6 months and got nicks.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, Oddshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around, leaving us a note on a corpse?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Let me finish, Phelps. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. Or some opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures, he'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastical.
You know, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police work. There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder. It was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phelps, I understand you want to turn this into a big case, but it doesn't work like that, all right? A case will come and find you. Can't make it something it ain't. Understand?
Yes.
So you don't think the werewolf has continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance. We would have found him.
Ne kurt adammış ya. Sıkıntılı. Mama Club.
A waitress.
Ben buraları hiç hatırlamıyorum.
I have another spoon?
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Ta kendisi.
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Yok canım.
Inquire away, Phelps. I'll stay here. I'm a little parched. Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
You ought to meet Joe's buddy. He's nice. Really.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
Ne bunlar? Bir de özel masa.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
Bütün insanları görecek
We're
şekilde ayrılmış.
investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine?
You
Christ.
going to pay for that?
Sure, I know her. She and I and Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine was a lovely woman.
Oğlum sen nasıl konuşma?
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
How about a name? This is a murder beef, McCall. You don't want any adverse publicity for this place, do you?
If I had names, I would give them to you. I like Celine. I'd like to see you get whoever did this. Clear on that?
Yalan mıydı ki? Doğru muydu ki? Bu nasıl arkadaş? Kaş köşe ayrı. Ya ben kanıtlarla ne yapabilirim ki ya?
You know the husband?
Sure, I know Jacob. He was in the Corps.
Aha bir de
He
orada.
met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. He put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
Doğru söylüyor bu sefer.
Was he ever violent with her?
Celine came in here last night looking like she'd taken a slap. They don't live together anymore, so it might not have been him.
Karar ver lan. Allah Allah o da değil ya. 3'te 0 ya.
Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than
3'te
life.
0 yaptık. 3'te 2.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure.
Bunu yaparsak
Way back in
yok.
her flying days.
2'de
Did her
0.
husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
Oğlum şüpheli tavırlar sergilenme bak bu sefer şüphelisin ha.
I
Yeter
think
lan.
you know where the ring came from, and I think you're going to tell me.
Okay, I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
Hem öldürdün lan.
McCall, you said you liked her, and yet you've been no
Üçte
help
bir.
at all. I want Celine's address.
142 North Union. Now get the hell out of my bar.
Bu adamda bir şey var ya. Bu adamda bir şey var ya. Ya biz hiçbir bilgi alamadık.
How's your tuna fish salad?
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Sen sür.
You know the way. You can drive. You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
A smart man might know it's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
Ya dedim sen mi oynadın lan oraya kadar? Şimdi aklıma geldi dedi
You know,
bizde
you picked the
kaldı.
wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical. Maybe the men combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor, our ancestors wouldn't have tasted the forbidden fruit.
Minor syntactical error, Detective Galloway. I never claimed to be able to prevent crimes. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. It's worse than I could ever have imagined.
Rico Hill Street. Henry malikanesi.
I'll try the back door. Wait here a second.
Ne oluyor lan? Oğlum adam Ya sen de gir silahla.
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
Aha.
Tiffany. The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing ring. A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive.
Alkolikmiş. Tamam. Mutfağa bir girelim bakalım. Mutfak neredesin? Mutfak burada.
Burglar used a pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
Size 9s. Above average for a lady.
Evet. Yani ne anlayabiliriz biz bundan?
don't think this is any use to us.
Yok, gerek yok. Tam buradan çıkabiliriz ya.
I'm at a loss. Don't be shy, Phelps. If we want something on this broad, we're gonna have to search the place.
Şey bitti mi acaba ya? Buradan gidelim. Her yere baktık diye düşünüyorum. Evde gözlük var.
Nope.
Nope. Burası tuvalet, burası salon. Bu ne?
This isn't what we're looking for.
Evet, başka bir şeye bakıyoruz. Bu ne? Hiçbir şey yok. Arka bahçede herhangi bir şey var mı?
We need to work the home address again.
Evet, tekrardan bakmamız gerekiyor. Yeterli bir ipucu alamadık. Ne yazıyor burada?
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on. One of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Telefon neredeydi?
Burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
Don't take all day about it, Phelps. I'll get nasty when I'm thirsty.
Ne demek ki şey yapmayacağız.
Galloway, homicide, badge number 564.
Ha, sen mi arıyorsun lan? Aferin lan, bir işe yara.
Technical services for a suspected 459
Komşularla görüşeyim.
142 North Union.
Komşu. Hanımefendi, bir bakar mısınız? Oradan öyle bakmakla olmaz. Gel hele gel.
I knew it wasn't safe around here anymore.
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan! Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but Celine had been drinking. And she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
Evet. Yanlış şeye bastık. Şimdi Jacob'un dairesine bir gidelim.
Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. He's looking more and more likely.
For my money, if the broad keeps the house looking like that, she probably deserved it. The skipper says bring him in and keep the hacks off our backs for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you've come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should leave open. And as far as I'm concerned, it still is.
KGPL 20 Central Unit. A citizen reports a man with a gun on Grand between 4th and 5th. Any Central Unit identify?
Bunun kaşındı.
Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead. You Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
She's...
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Bana biraz inandırıcılık geldi ama tabii bunların her şey şüpheli.
I get even the slightest hint that you're a flight risk, pal. You think the atmosphere's thick in here? Wait till you try the gas chamber.
The oldest problem there is, what to do about the old lady.
He'll be back any moment. Just sit tight.
Abi yere gidiyor. Ayak numarasına bakalım 11.
Size 11s.
Nothing significant.
Nasıl oğlum?
Seems irrelevant.
Evet.
Incidental.
Evet. Hadi konuşalım.
So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
We get the impression that Celine liked to live the glamorous life. How did she end up with a hump like you, Jacob?
Celine was one of the first woman pilots. She hung out with movie stars and royalty. But when she came back here broke and struggling, she married a mechanic. Put a roof over her head, food on the table. Not glamorous, but the best I could do. I'm not ashamed about that.
Anlamıyorum ben hiçbir şekilde.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night, I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
That's a lie, and you know it. You tailed her, watched her come out of a bar, and then beat her to death. Admit it, Henry.
Why would I do that, detective?
Aile işi problemler.
My wife was a drunk. It was a sickness with her. Doesn't mean I didn't love her. Would you stop loving your wife if she was unwell?
No, I wouldn't.
Abi 4'te 2'de 0. Çıldıracağım ya.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
Yalan abi.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, big mouth? Huh?
Aile işi problemler.
I've had just about enough of you.
Burada sıçtık ya. Hiçbir şey
So
alamadık
you
ki
can
abi.
prove that you came back here after you left your wife's place.
I came back here. I was here all night. Start work at 6:30. I'm not the going out type.
Doğru mu söylüyorsun oğlum?
So
Şüpheli
you
diyeceğim
were
ona.
here, tucked up in bed, while someone was out there beating your wife's brains out. That's all you've got?
Talk to the bartender at the Bomba Club. He'll tell you he called here last night and I answered the phone.
We're still gonna need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
Aha.
Okay.
Oğlum vur artık lan. Bir dakika oyunda bir şey var şu anda. Vurmuyor. Hiçbir şekilde hareket etmiyor.
What's this bunkin'?
You're awful hot under the collar for an innocent man, Mr. Henry.
Tamam.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Burada telefon vardı, daha demin telefon gördüm.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Pezevengi gelin alın buradan.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective.
Any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. In regards to the Celine Henry homicide, the owner of the Turkey Bowl restaurant at 1535 West 3rd Street says the victim was at his restaurant last night.
Turkey Bowl restaurant. We'll check it out.
You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes,
Tabii.
ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument.
Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt.
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doc.
Çok kötü gittik bu şeyde ya. Türkiye Bomb Servisi. Türk Bomb restoranı. Bunu Türk diyor la. Oraya ben süreceğim.
Carruthers said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
Drive-in. Türk Bomb. Türkiye yazıyor la.
That's one heck of a Sunday.
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're working a murder case. Mrs. Celine Henry, you called in?
Yeah, the name's Jonesco. This is my place.
You saw Mrs. Henry in here last night?
Until about 1 a.m., having dinner with a friend.
Doing more drinking than eating.
You got that straight.
Mrs. Henry was seen leaving another establishment in the company of a man. Did the two of them come here?
Yeah, I remember seeing her with a guy.
Did you see them leave?
They got into his old Pontiac. Dull brown color. I got a look at the license plate. 2B8899.
You have a name? Description, maybe? Come on, Mr. Nesco. We need something more to go on.
Smallish guy. Maybe 5'7". Dark complexion. Latin looking.
What time did the two of them leave?
Around 2 a.m. They were talking pretty loud. She had a black eye. Said her husband gave it to her. Said she was going to have him committed.
Was she a regular in here?
No. I mean, I wouldn't have recognized her face among the usual crowd.
Oğlum bak kaşın gözün ayrı oynuyor. Şüpheli hareketleri var ya bu adamın.
Would you be able to identify the man she was with?
Maybe. I wasn't watching him too close.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Nesco. Thanks for your time.
Nereden bir bilgiyi aldık. Ne kadar kötü bir deneyim de olsa.
Tasty burger.
Does the chicken come with fried tomatoes?
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One, Detective. From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in. Thanks for your help.
This guy must have escaped from the loony bin.
İlk önce Mendez'in dairesine bir uğrayalım. Oraya sen kullanacaksın lan.
That's one heck of a Sunday.
Where the hell's he going with that?
Look, Pops, just hand over the money, okay?
All right, young fellow, okay. Okay, hold your horses. I'm getting the money.
I ain't afraid to drill you, you know.
Hey, careful with that trigger finger now. You look the nervous type.
Plug the old bastard, Lefty. If I gotta come in there, I'm spraying lead, you old coot.
LAPD, drop the weapon!
Lan o sivil miymiş? Lan oğlum ben nereden bileyim, adam koşuyor ya. Sivil yaralandı diyor ya.
Where the hell's he going with that?
Look, Pops, just hand over the money, okay?
All right, young fellow, okay. Okay, hold your
Tek
horses.
sivili vurduk
I'm
ya.
getting the money.
I ain't afraid to drill you, you know.
Hey, careful with that trigger finger now. You look the nervous type.
Plug the old bastard, Lefty. If I gotta come in there, I'm spraying lead, you old coot.
LAPD, drop the weapon!
Between the guinea pig and the chicken.
Watch your shots, Cole.
I'm hit.
Adam öldürmemeye çalıştım ama. Bir omuzundan bir diğer omuzundan bir diğer omuzundan vurunca öldü tabii. Yetim adamları öldürmemek değildi aslında. Öldürmek değildi aslında. En son kadın belki bir şeyler duyarız, bir şeyler alırız diye. Bak işimiz var, gücümüz var. Kral sen kimsin ya?
Don't you worry, officer. Take more than punks like that to rattle me. You can get going.
Tamam, burası sizde. Şuraya gidelim.
You're behind the wheel.
Mendez could be our man.
He could be at that, but you don't want to cross the skipper, Phelps. Not a great move in your first day. He wants Henry re-interviewed.
How'd you like losing your cherry, rookie?
It might be my first day here, but I've had extensive experience on other desks in the department. I think you're aware of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've been a pain in the ass before today as well.
And I shall continue to be until the end of time.
Adam bize bir trik verdi. Henry'e uğra dedi. Olabilir. Niye olmasın? ...16 mıydı? 16'ydı galiba. Aynen, Amendes.
Mendez, apartment 16.
Asansör var mı? 4. kat. 1 2 3 4 mü?
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in. Take a look around and see what you can find.
Adam tabi gitti.
I don't think this is going to help us. It doesn't appear to be connected.
Oo.
Carruthers could match the color and brand of the body. Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
We have the murder weapon. We better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break. Captain Donald will begin to like you.
Hey, what gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there. You don't need to do this, Alonzo.
Lan oğlum atla. Hep beraber arkadaşlar.
Get in and drive. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
Pek attı lan.
I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle and I'll stop the son of a bitch. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out.
Yetişebilsem vuracağım.
Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
Give it up, LAPD.
LSP'di tutuklusun. Mendes. İstedim. Geç lan.
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
Söyleyecek bir şey kanıtın yok, şeyin yok zaten. Gerekçen yok zaten. Katilsin sen.
You did a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide
Doğru cevapları alamadan
It seems the city
bir
has a new
şekilde
and vengeful guardian.
çözüyoruz.
Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
Trafik stop. Doğru sonra bak 9'da 2 yapmışız. Böyle bir şey olabilir mi ya? Bir bölüm daha yaparım sonra kapatayım.
This pain to cool the lava you pump through my veins, 'cause I'm burning up for you.
Güzel mekanlarda takılıyor ha bizimki. The Golden Butterfly, Butterfly. The Golden Butterfly.
Galloway. Got it, Skipper. Yeah, I'll bring him. He's my partner, after all.
What have we got?
New case. White female dumped in plain sight in the grass at the end of Hill Street. Hacks are all over it. Captain's trying to fend them off.
That sounds awfully similar.
The first rule of police work is make no assumptions until you've seen the evidence. Skipper wants you to have your newspaper face on, college boy. I think I know the place where they found the lady. It overlooks Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
We got a stakeout down on 2nd later tonight.
That's a cut from the newspapers.
Yeni kıyafetlerimiz var mı ya? Hala aynı kıyafetler mi yoksa? Hadi gidelim ya.
I wish I could afford that.
Mekan işaretli mi? Alay mahalli. Hadi sen kullan, sen kullan sen. Geç.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
You did a decent job on the Henry case, Phelps. Not bad for your first time at bat.
Thanks, Rusty.
But don't go getting ahead of yourself. That's one clearance under your belt. Now it's a new day with a new dead lady that needs our attention.
And no assumptions until we see the evidence, right?
Right. See, I knew you were a fast learner, Phelps. You might get along after all.
Hadi bakalım.
Now, boys, you know as much as I do. I'll be holding a press conference once the autopsy's been completed. I have 2 of my finest investigators on the case, fresh from bringing down the sword of justice on the crazed sex
Captain,
Alonzo
aren't there
Mendez.
similarities between this murder and the murder of Celine Henry? And of Elizabeth Short, for that
So you don't
matter?
believe there's a crazed sex killer at large preying on women?
Boys, be sensible. We have the greatest police force in all the world with the greatest scientific investigators at our disposal. How can any killer continue to beat that? Be advised. We keep the gas chamber at San Quentin primed for the sons of Cain who continue to believe they can take a life in the City of Angels.
Yeah, right. Any new leads in the Dahlia case?
Run along, boys, and let these officers get to work. We have God's work to do here, and it can't be delayed.
What do we have, Captain?
Another woman sacrificed. Speak to Carruthers. I want daily reports, gentlemen.
I knew it wasn't safe around here anymore.
Burada mı öldürüldük oğlum kadın?
I was first on scene.
All these people
How about you find her, Gonzalez?
Not me. Family out for a stroll. I was first reporting.
Can you show me the body?
It's under the pepper tree, this way.
Biber ağacının altında ha.
Can't be much help to you, Phelps.
Ay kes lan.
Here she is.
Aa bu da çıplak, aynı katil.
The stomping angle in the Henry case, was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
Gene çanta. İçinde parası da varmış ama almamış.
If the motive was robbery, why not take the money? Oh, we have a name. Can you run Deirdre Muller by RNI?
Back in a second.
Similar MO.
To what? The Dahlia? I don't think so.
Celine Henry.
That's a closed case. This is probably another sad sack who lost his temper with a broad he wouldn't put out.
Are you a suspect, Rusty?
Watch your mouth, Phelps. All I'm saying is we got enough to do without reopening closed cases.
Talk me through it, Mal.
Severely battered, on display. Footprints would indicate that she has been stomped. Size of the footprints would seem to indicate a smallish men's shoe. What size shoe did Mendez wear?
You finished?
No, I'm not. At a glance, I would say strangulation was the cause of death. I'll need to do further tests for semen.
Angry boyfriend. If they were married, they'd be at home, not humping out here in Lover's Lane.
You mind if I examine the body?
Be my guest.
The stomping angle in the Henry case, was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
Looks like she was tied up.
It does at first, but that would leave a mark on her other wrist, too. I think her watch might have been torn off.
Yan ayakkabıyla basmış.
Just when I think I've seen it all.
Bunda da yüzük yok.
What's this mark? Cut on a finger.
Fourth finger, left hand. A wedding or engagement ring. Violently removed.
Ligature mark is very
distinctive. I'll do some comparisons back at the lab and get back to you.
Detectives, RNI says that Deirdre Mahler of 130 North Bonnie Brae was reported missing this morning by her husband, Hugo Mahler.
What'd I tell you? Let's grab the husband, take him downtown, and work him over. We could have this wrapped up by lunchtime.
What about not making assumptions and going on the evidence?
Bir dakika, AB. A nerede olan?
Doesn't look like anything.
A nerede peki? BC var, A yok. A kadınla. Tamam, A kadın ya.
All these people are vultures, officer. But you can tell me what's going on.
This is awful. Just awful. Why can't we get any closer?
Can you drive to this one?
There still might be some play in the boyfriend angle.
I thought we were on our way to lock up the husband.
If he doesn't work out, that is.
Deirdre Muller has suffered enough. More than enough. You shouldn't make disparaging comments about her without even the slightest inkling of what she was like.
She was a woman, wasn't she? No, around about my third divorce, I realized women
Tamam
might
da
not be
kardeşim,
the pure
insan lan o.
angels we
Bir
imagine.
insan o, insan.
You're married, ain't you, Phelps?
Don't make any insinuations about my wife.
Hey, she's a woman.
She's the mother of my children.
Evet.
You're a father, Cole? But don't tell me your eye don't bend.
This conversation is over.
Bizim partner tam bir şerefsiz çıktı ya.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Is your father home?
He'll be home soon. He's been out looking for Mommy.
What's your name, miss?
Michelle Eloise Mahler?
Can we come in?
I suppose so.
Thank you. Could you have a seat for me, Michelle? We're gonna have a look around.
Oğlum yeni şüpheli nasıl yeni
He'll be
şüpheli
back
ya?
any moment. Just sit tight.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
My partner will explain everything when he gets back, okay? There's nothing to worry about.
Kızın odası. Bu da ebeveynlerin. Aha 8.
Work boots. Size 8.
Belki bastı ya.
No sign of a wedding ring.
Bu ne abi?
Elgin wristwatch. Probably the same one snatched from her body.
Not sure this means much.
Şu şeyden şüphelendim ben bir ya. Bize bir şey yok galiba. Ama Türkçe ses diyor ya, ondan bir kullandım. Kullanmadım değil. Ben bir daha bir mutfağa bakacağım. Bu ne? Sanki bir şey kaçırıyormuşuz hissi var.
Circumstantial.
Kapıya dışarıya çıkarmıyor. Tamam, kızla konuşalım bir.
Is this about Mommy? Daddy is trying to find her. Please tell me she's okay.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Michelle, but your mother is dead.
Bunu çocuğa söyleme lan bari.
Do you think you could answer a few questions for us?
Try.
Your mom and dad are happily married?
What are you saying? Of course they are.
Ama bize yalan söyleme ama güzüm.
They weren't happy, were they, Michelle? Did your father ever hit your mother?
Just the once. She said she would leave him if he ever did it again. He bought her a brooch pin to make up for it. Mommy always wore her golden butterfly.
When did you last see your mother?
Yesterday afternoon, I went to a dance at Belmont High. Mommy was supposed to pick me up, but she didn't show.
So what did you do then?
I was upset. Daddy came instead.
Bir şeyler eksik ama. Bize bir kuzum, bize doğruyu söyle. Ya şu anda bakıyorsun gözüme, doğruyu söylüyormuşsun gibi ama.
So you were hanging around the school for quite a while. What happened with your father?
I don't know. I called and finally he answered. He came straight away then.
Some of your mother's jewelry was missing. Can you describe her things?
A ring, a watch. I never paid much attention to that stuff.
Bak gene o bakış yapıyor ya.
You seem reluctant to talk about her jewelry.
It's a touchy subject with Daddy. He thought she wasted too much money on her appearance.
Thanks, Miss Muller. You've been very brave.
Hey! What gives?
Daddy, the police
Go to your
are
room,
here.
please, Michelle. I'll talk to the police.
Daddy, Mommy is gone.
Go to your room, young lady. She's not even out of school. You can't come in here interrogating her like she's
Your
some
wife
kind
was
of...
found murdered this morning.
Found? What the... But she only...
We have some questions that we would like to ask you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll do my best.
So you were here all night. You stayed in while your wife went out to pick up your daughter?
Yes, that's correct.
You should come clean if you're having an affair or if there's something going on.
I told you I was here. Were you saying I wasn't?
So why did you take so long to answer the phone when your daughter called?
Okay, I went out for a while. I was driving around. It's my way of relaxing.
You phoned in a missing persons report this morning?
Yeah, that's right. My wife didn't come home last night. She left around 9:30. Michelle was out at dance. She called me to let me know that Deidre didn't turn up.
Valla cevap çıkaracağım ya. Şüpheli söylüyor bu pezevenk.
Did your wife ever go out by herself to bars, nightclubs?
No. What are you suggesting? You suggesting my wife's loose? Now is not the time for you to be pushing me, mister.
Your daughter said you were having an argument.
We argued about who would pick up Michelle. I worked a full day. I wanted to come home, put my feet up.
Your wife was beaten and then strangled. In your case, you have no alibi and a history of violence towards your wife.
That's not true, god damn it.
Sen yalan söylüyorsun lan.
Please, if that's all, please just leave.
It is true, Hugo. You're a violent man. You try to keep a lid on it at home, but sometimes you lost control. Your daughter and your wife were scared of you.
You don't know anything about me.
Kelebek broş mu acaba ya? 8 numara iş botta.
I'm not a killer. No matter what you think.
What size shoe do you wear, Mr. Muller?
Why do you ask?
It's routine, sir. Simple process of elimination.
9s, I think.
Why are you lying to me, Mr. Muller?
Why would I lie to you at a time like this?
That's funny. The work boots we found here are size 8s. Why lie about it if you've got nothing to hide?
Because I always get teased about the size of my feet. You know, small feet, small...
Always been true in my experience.
Getting hostile with us is a very bad idea, Hugo.
I'm no murderer.
Make some arrangements for your daughter, and then present yourself to Central Station for questioning.
You gotta be kidding me, Phelps. Put the cuffs on him.
This is an outrage. I didn't kill my wife.
Your daughter is in the next room, Mueller, so I'm giving you a break. Don't make me change my mind, and don't make me come looking for you.
We should go back in there and bust his ass.
1, we need to break his alibi, check phone records, canvass the neighbors. 2, we have motive of domestic violence, which probably goes for half the men in LA. 3, we have no evidence tying him to the crime scene.
Hello? Detective!
Bayan.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard the terrible news over the radio.
And you can help us with our inquiries?
Yes, sir. They had a row last night. I heard Mrs. Mueller screaming.
Did you see Mrs. Mueller come home late last night at all?
No, not at all. I did see Mr. Mueller put something in the incinerator earlier this morning, though.
I told you he was our guy. Now let's get this bum downtown and into a cell.
Look, there he is now.
Lan ne yakıyorsun lan?
Step away from the incinerator. Don't let him get away.
Okay, but no shooting. We need this guy to make the case.
There he is. See him?
This doesn't look good, Hugo.
I can explain the blood.
Get him booked in at Central, officer. Then put him in an interview room. We'll be speaking with him later. And inform the captain.
Yes, sir, Detective.
Is there someone you can call, miss?
I don't want home and
You need somewhere to stay, Michelle. You have other family? Grandparents? Aunts or uncles?
call Aunt Helen, but she lives in Bakersfield and...
Call her. We're gonna get someone down here from Juvenile Hall to talk to you in the meantime.
We ought to get some uniforms down here, clean up, take care of the kid.
He's only a writer, so he can't
Ben
really
bir
help.
karakol arayacağım.
Galloway, Homicide Division, badge number 564.
Go ahead, Detective Unit.
Can we
Phelps,
get Ray
badge
Pinker and the
1247.
technical services team to a house at 130 North Bonnie Bray Street?
I need an
Send
address on
someone
a
down from
Belmont
Juvenile
High
Hall to
School.
look after a young lady.
Checking for you, Detective. Roger, 11K. Belmont High, 1575 West 2nd Street.
Thanks.
Isn't he a cop who won the medal and is solving all the cases?
Inform Detective Phelps that the coroner has a report waiting at the police morgue downtown when he's available.
Got it, KGPL.
That's just breakfast.
I'm surprised, you know. I didn't make the husband for it.
Always make the husband, fellas. 9 times out of 10, it's the closest person to the Vic who does the deed. God knows I've wanted to kill some wives in my day.
Lex parsimoniae.
What?
The law of parsimony. Occam's razor.
Whoa there!
The law of parsimony. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is most likely...
But Saturday's the spring unveiling, Emmy. It's the first season since fabric rationing's over. We have to go.
I told you I can't Saturday. I'm busy.
Busy where? You're going on another drive with Davy Gardner, aren't you?
So what if I am?
Go, Phelps. I'll take the car and see if I can cut him off.
Lan gel buraya. Buraya gel lan. Nereye kaçacaksın oğlum buradan?
There he is, officer. Lock him up and throw away the key.
Katili de yakaladık. Oh, rahattım ben.
Car 11K, car 11 King, come in.
11K, go ahead.
11K, see the janitor. A green 1946 coupe registered to a Mrs. Hugo Moeller has been found in the parking lot adjoining the Belmont High School and playing fields. 11K, code 2.
Hadi Mele bir görüşelim.
What's your name?
Who's asking?
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Name's Eli Rooney.
You've been in trouble with the law before, Eli?
Some.
What are you doing around here?
I like to keep an eye on the children.
Strictly paternal, is it, Eli?
Don't sass me, boy.
A woman was abducted here last night, Eli, and murdered.
And I would love to make you for that, you oaky motherfucker.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that. A woman, you say? I like 'em a little younger than that.
Turn out your pockets, Eli.
Now, why would I do that?
Because I'm about to break your fucking skull, Eli.
You're under arrest, Eli. You're in very deep trouble. Get some backup down here, Rusty. We need to get this one downtown and into a cell.
I'll tell them we got a kitty raper coming.
What time did you see the person park the car?
Late last night, after school social, maybe 1 a.m. I've been keeping a good eye out lately. We've had problems with the child molester.
Eli Rooney. We've met him.
Filthy son of a bitch. He was here yesterday before the dance.
Was it him you saw park the car?
I don't know, sir. I'd like to say yes, but the truth is it was pretty dark.
Would you say Rooney is violent?
Yes, sir, I would say so, yes.
Thanks for your help. The overalls are stenciled HM. Muller is a mechanic. I wonder what Eli does for a living.
It's from a Chrysler. Could be important.
Blood and skin samples. We better get Ray Pinker out here.
Oy. Anam, ulan buraya geldi yine ya. Neyse abi burada oynayacağız. Yeter. Ama o zaman da buraya bakmış olacağım hep. Dur bir dakika. Buraya aldım. Buraya aldım ama. O da uygula dedik mi? Artık orada kalsın ya. Şunu bitirelim.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need interrogation set up at Central for both suspects being held in the Mahler homicide case.
Certainly, Detective. I'll get in touch with the watch commander.
Thank you. You can drive.
Bir de soruşturmaya gireceğiz ya. Come on.
I say we make Rooney for this. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Mueller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for now. You better not go soft on me in here, Phelps.
We'll work the evidence, Rusty. Let him do the rest. Are they ready?
Moeller's in 2 and the pervert's in 1. Get in there and get a conviction.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Captain, we were on our way to interview Eli Rooney.
Yes, Phelps, I know. This particular fiend is an old acquaintance. I have tried to reaffirm his belief in a wrathful and terrible God. Whichever way it goes, I'll be dealing personally with him.
You look like you've had it rough.
You see me asking for your sympathy, boy?
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any preference regarding rope, Eli?
I know a good rope from a bad rope, if that's what you mean. That's not what you mean, is it? Any old rope will do me fine.
I know, Yed. Ask Jack to scratch. Is that so wrong? You trying to sit me down?
Convoy like you, Eli, must prefer McGay for roping. Am I right?
I prefer braid. You tie a hitch and braid, it stays tied.
You were smoking a cigarette in the other room?
You down on your luck, Eli?
I've had worse. My family ate roadkill during the Dust Bowl.
But you have a job. A parolee has to have a job, correct?
I had me a job down in San Pedro. I'm looking for something new.
Can you get me a coffee? Is anybody making coffee soon?
This place you worked have a name?
Hennessy Marine. You can't miss the place. Big yellow letters, HM out front.
They give you any workwear, Eli?
Sure. Green coverall. Dang thing was hot. Felt like I was back in the pen wearing it.
You killed Mrs. Mueller and stole her jewelry.
That ain't so. I ain't done nothing like that.
You're a liar, Eli. You needed the money, so you killed her.
I've been around some, son. You got some evidence that proves I stole that butterfly from that woman? I done told you I found that pretty thing. I never stole it.
I don't like you, Eli. I think you're an evil man. I think you try to pass off your pain to other people. I can't make you for this case, but my consolation is that I don't think you will be out of prison for very long.
You can count on it, shitbird. By the way, Eli, the captain and the hat squad would like to talk to you next. Any idea what they might want to talk about? For my money, Hugo Muller's our #1 suspect. The evidence is solid. I think it's time we hit him with it.
Mouthpiece tore strips off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
That bum took a swipe at me, so I put him down in my sack.
Here's where we stand, Hugo. Your next-door neighbor heard screaming coming from your house. You were burning your blood-stained shoes. You have no one who can confirm your whereabouts last night. Your daughter says you're a violent man. We have everything we need to send you to death row, and all you have to say for yourself is, I didn't do it.
I swear I didn't kill her. Give me that lie test. I can prove it.
Why did you burn your shoes, Hugo?
Because I knew you'd never believe me.
Kanlı ayakkabı, iş kıyafeti, kanlı lastik, demir halat, kayıp saat ve yüzükler, halat kalıbı, 8 numaralı iş botları. Doğru söylüyor gibisin lan bu sefer.
Believe what?
It's rabbit's blood. A guy at work brought him in and I helped him skin them.
Do you know anything about ropes, Hugo?
As much as the next man. I was a scout. I learned some more in the Army.
You learned to strangle with the rope in the Army?
With rope, with my bare hands, but mainly with wire. I learned a lot of things in the Army, but I still didn't kill my wife.
For argument's sake, what type of rope would you use?
If I had to, I would use a triple braid. Less flex, easier to control.
Your wife was beaten with a tire iron, Hugo. An appropriate choice of tool for a mechanic.
I know nothing about any tire iron.
You're gonna die for this, Muller. Better give me something if I'm gonna believe your story.
My conscience is clear. You can't badger me into admitting anything.
We found your wife's car. Someone parked it at the school late last night. Do you have anything to say about that?
It wasn't me.
Where do you keep your work clothes?
I keep them at work in my locker.
Sen yalan söylüyorsun.
Enough lies, Hugo. Your overalls put you at the scene of the crime last night.
My overalls are in the laundry of my house.
Tulum diyor.
Green overalls, blood-stained, with the initials HM found in the trunk of your wife's car.
They can't be mine.
Why, Hugo? Because if they were yours, they'd be in the incinerator too?
We're letting you go for now, Muller. Go home and see your daughter, and work on your story. It's got more holes than a batting cage.
That's the guy. Detective, that's him. That's the guy who parked the car, I'm sure of it. Hey, he's getting away!
Ha şerefsiz oymuş.
That's not true. I can't go to jail.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out.
Lan böyle bir şey mi? Böyle bir kaçış mı var lan?
Tram!
Deus Ex Machina. We got lucky, bro.
You and your goddamn Latin, Phelps.
It ends here, Hugo. Once we get the janitor's statement, you'll be staring down a murder charge.
Keşke onu kaldırıp böyle ben gitsem ya böyle. Çok havalı hissettiriyor. Böyle gitmek.
I have to say I'm disappointed. I stood in front of a troop of reporters and made promises. Promises of swift and fearful retribution, and you bring me an armful of vagary and happenstance. You made the department look bad, lad. Do it again and your career as a policeman will come to an abrupt and ignominious end.
Kes lan sesini.
You two are back on the streets. Find street criminals, roust them, beat them, and restore some fervor to your police work. Your next case will come when you've revived my faith in your abilities. Now get out of here!
Gene fırça yedik ya. Ne güzel gidiyorduk, fırça yedik gene ya. Böyle karşılamadı bizi bu sefer. Bu sefer. Aslında da güzel ilerlemişiz ya. Sadece işte bu kadar. Evet. Yayını kapatayım. Sonra 4-5 gibi, 4 gibi, 3-4 gibi açarız. Çıkış yap. Evet.